In this video, we will explain absolutely everything you need to know to travel to Austria, the imperial heart of Europe. This is the definitive guide and the most complete video you will watch today about the country where the elegance of palaces meets the grandeur of nature, the place where the classical music of Mozart and Beethoven echoes through the streets of Vienna, where historic cafes serve the best cakes in the world, and where the Alps form breathtaking landscapes with crystal-clear lakes. We will cover everything from the challenging logistics of how to cross the mountains by train or car, how to explore fairy tale villages without falling into tourist crowds, and where to taste the true and gigantic breaded veal cutlet. We will also tell you about the vital requirement of travel insurance and how to choose the perfect base to explore the snow mountains. So let us get started. Austria is a country of stunning contrasts and a lot of sophistication. It manages to be at the same time a world capital of culture and art and one of the best nature and adventure destinations on the planet. It is an extremely safe, clean, polite destination full of landscapes that look like paintings, with an impeccable infrastructure for tourists. Now let us move on to logistics and planning. What is the best time to visit Austria? The best time depends a lot on your goal because Austria has two perfect high seasons. For those who want to focus on culture cities, hiking, and lakes spring and fall, especially May, June, September, and October are the best months. The weather is very pleasant, the crowds are smaller, and the landscapes are in bloom or with golden leaves. Summer in July and August is hot. Thermometers reach 86 degrees Fahrenheit in Vienna, and it is the ideal time to swim in the blue alpine lakes, but the cities and villages get crowded with tourists from all over the world and prices go up. Winter from December to March is the high season for those looking for snow sports. The Alps are covered in white, perfect for skiing. December in particular is the most magical time of the year when the whole country is taken over by traditional Christmas markets with lights, choirs, and mulled wine in the streets. And how many days to stay? If it is just to visit the capital, Vienna 4 full days are enough. But to know the real Austria, crossing the country to Salzburg, discovering the village of Hallstatt in the lakes, and reaching the Tyrolean Alps in Innsbruck, the ideal is an itinerary of 10 to 14 days. Now let us talk about transportation and how to get around the country. The train system in Austria, run by the National Train Company, is absolutely fantastic, punctual, and very comfortable. It connects the capital Vienna to cities like Salzburg and Innsbruck quickly and with huge panoramic windows to see the mountains. Buy tickets well in advance online because on the spot the fares are extremely high. To explore the mountains in depth, the lake regions, and drive along the famous scenic roads, renting a car is the best option. The highways are impeccable carpets, but attention to drive on Austrian roads, you need to buy a toll sticker called vignette, which is sold at gas stations on the borders, or pay very high fines. In winter, the use of snow tires is mandatory by law. Regional buses complement the trains very well to reach the smaller villages where the railways do not reach. Staying in a good region will define the style of your trip. The strategy here is to choose base cities to explore the regions, avoiding carrying luggage every day. The first mandatory base is Vienna. Staying in the historic center, known as the First District, or in neighboring neighborhoods like Neubau, ensures that you do sightseeing and go to cafes on foot or using the capital S excellent electric tram system. The second essential base is Salzburg. The city of Mozart is on the border with Germany and is the perfect gateway to take short day trips to the famous lakes region. The third base is Innsbruck. It is the capital of the Alps in Tyrol. Staying here means having gigantic mountains around your window, ideal for those who want to ski in the winter or do high-altitude trails in the summer. The fourth option for those looking for a luxurious and romantic rural experience is to stay in a spa hotel overlooking the mountains in small towns like Zell am See or near Hallstatt. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best city and region to build your base. Staying in Vienna and then taking a train to Salzburg, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen QR code and in the video description the link to this exclusive map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and reliable options. We will also leave links to the hotels we have already stayed at and approved. In all destinations, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located for those who want to save money, and another that is a little better in the same location but a little more expensive with more comfort. These are great options tested by us. An important tip to save on accommodation is the advanced strategy. Austria is a very rich country with high standard tourism. Hotels in the center of Vienna and in alpine villages like Hallstatt sell out months in advance, especially in the summer and the weeks of Christmas. That is why we really like using this site we indicated. In addition to having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation with almost all hotels. You can book as soon as possible to guarantee a much lower price. And if you need to cancel later due to any change of plans, it is super easy and at no cost. And remembering that in this link below, we always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price on a single page. The sites we use to build our trips and that have everything much cheaper, such as international cell phone chip to have internet on the trains, travel insurance with discount, which is mandatory to enter Europe, tickets for imperial palaces and concerts, good and cheap hotels we have already stayed at, and the global account to carry dollars paying lower fees. Save this page in your favorites. Now let us divide the country by regions and unmissable attractions, starting with the East Vienna and the Empire. Vienna breathes grandeur. You need to visit the Schönbrunn Palace, the former summer residence of the emperors of the Habsburg dynasty. It is a gigantic complex with magnificent gardens and the Gloriette at the top of the hill. In the city center, the Hofburg Imperial Palace houses the royal apartments and the beautiful Austrian National Library, which looks like it came out of a classic movie. Visit St. Stephen's Cathedral with its incredible colorful roof, and end the day watching an opera or classical music concert at the majestic Vienna State Opera. Going to the center and the Lakes region. Visit Salzburg, the hometown of the genius Mozart. Walk through the historic center with narrow streets, take the funicular up to the gigantic Hohensalzburg fortress that dominates the landscape, and visit the Mirabell Palace Gardens, which were immortalized in the movie The Sound of Music. From Salzburg, take trips to the Salzkammergut region. Destination number 1 is the village of Hallstatt. Located between a mirror lake and a towering mountain, it is considered the most beautiful and photographed village in Europe. Take the boat ride and take the cable car up to visit the oldest salt mine in the world at the top, exploring the West Tyrol and the Alps. Your base here is Innsbruck. The city is famous for the Golden Roof, a balcony built by emperors in the historic center with over 2,000 gold-plated tiles. From there, right in the middle of the city, you take a funicular designed by a famous architect and then a cable car that takes you to an altitude of over 6,500 feet at the peak of the Nordkette mountain in just 30 minutes. The view of the city in the valley with the snowy Alps around is monumental. If you have a car in the summer, the country's ultimate experience is driving the Grossglockner High Alpine Road. It is a scenic road with dozens of hairpin turns that crosses the heart of the national park to Austria's highest mountain and its ice glacier. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets for attractions in advance. The Schönbrunn Palace has scheduled entry times and gigantic lines, just as Mozart concerts sell out fast. We will leave in the screen QR code and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets and tours for the lowest price, and with Skip the Line, access very easily. Now let us move on to gastronomy. Austrian culinary culture is refined and very striking. You have the obligation to experience the Viennese cafe culture. It is not just drinking coffee, it is sitting and watching time go by. Order a melange, which is their typical coffee with milk and foam, and eat the famous Sachertorte, the chocolate cake with apricot filling invented at the luxurious Hotel Sacher. The national dish and local passion is the Wiener Schnitzel. It is a veal cutlet pounded until it is very thin breaded and fried in clarified butter until golden brown, usually served with a tart potato salad. The portion is usually gigantic, falling off the plate. Another classic royal dish is Tafelspitz, slow-cooked beef, with vegetables served with applesauce and horseradish, which was the emperor's favorite dish. And to close with a golden key, the Apfelstrudel, a very thin dough filled with apples and spices, preferably served warm, with a pool of vanilla sauce around it. Quick and in-depth shopping tips. Austria is the birthplace of the famous Swarovski crystals. You can find their largest and most luxurious store on one of the main streets of Vienna. Near Innsbruck, you can visit the Crystal Worlds, an immersive museum of the brand, with sparkling chambers built underground, perfect for exclusive shopping. For cheap and classic gifts, buy the famous Mozart balls, the Mozartkugeln, which are round pistachio marzipan and nougat candies covered in dark chocolate found in supermarkets and candy stores. Mandatory documentation for international tourists and safety. Safety Austria is frequently listed as one of the safest countries on the entire planet. Violent crimes are extremely rare. In the most touristy areas like the Vienna Cathedral or in Hallstatt, the only necessary care is with pickpockets amidst the distracted crowds. Other than that, you can walk the streets at dawn with extreme tranquility. Visa. Most Western citizens do not need a visa for tourism to stay up to 90 days, but the passport must be valid. Check the current rules as Europe will implement the electronic travel authorization soon. Travel Insurance Austria is part of the Schengen area, and therefore international travel insurance is a requirement imposed by law to cross the border. It must have a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros for medical and hospital expenses. Their health system is world-class, but the costs charged to private tourists in case of an emergency or mountain accidents are exorbitant. Immigration is strict. We never travel without it, and in the link in the description there is the comparator we always use. If you liked this complete and deep guide about Austria, like the video, and subscribe to our channel to travel more and better around the world. Thank you very much, and have a safe trip.